Okay, so Jared, today we're going to just be like reviewing a little bit of our work that we've been working on in Macbeth. And before we get started or anything, and before we start talking about what's going on in the book and everything, I kind of wanted to see where you stand in regards to like the themes and the big words that come up in this book. So this quick do now, I think we're just going to probably do it for, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 5, is we're going to try to start with concepts on this document. Basically, 4 words we have here. Can you read them?
Yeah. Fate, honor, ambition, and guilt.
Perfect. Okay. So it seems like you are relatively familiar with these words already. So in perpetual pen for around 5 minutes, I think we're just going to write what these words make you think about. So you can define them if you can. If you know these words exactly, define them. If you don't, how do you relate to them? Or how do these words relate to you? And if you can give examples from your own real life or things you've seen, that would be even better. So 5 minutes, I think. Just perpetual pen on your loose leaf, we can get started. Yeah, right here. We'll do that. Feel free to partake in the chips as much as you want. I'm probably going to finish this bag. All right, you think you're about ready to discuss? You want a little bit more?
Well, the only words that I did definition. I couldn't give like a new connection or whatever. But for honor, I put that it's like to be remembered for something that's like honor worthy, meaning like it's something that can be forgotten basically.
Something that what?
Something that can be forgotten basically.
Something that can be forgotten. So
No. That can't be.
something that can't be forgotten because what you did was special, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I like that. So you were saying, so a word you associate with honor is worthy or worthiness.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What do you think about when someone calls someone else honorable? Have you ever heard
Can
that?
I use an example?
100%. Yeah.
So like, let's say like in the school there's like only one kid and he gets like hundreds on his test. You'll be honored for that because he's the only one who actually got that to the other kids.
I love the way you use honored in that sentence. So in that sense, the person is being honored because they've done something special,
Yeah.
right? People who are honored are people who are special in a way, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So the interesting thing about honor in general for Macbeth, and something that we need to understand, is Macbeth is. Do you know how old Macbeth is?
No.
If you had to guess when this play was written, based on the language, how long ago would you say?
Like maybe like in the 600s or something like that.
Well, a little later, closer to our time, but
400s.
well, again, if we're going from the 600s up, so we're in what 2017, right? So somewhere in the middle. So actually 1600, right? Around the 1600s was when Macbeth was written. So there's a reason the people in this book speak totally different from us, right? It's written in English, but we know this is not how we speak, right?
Yeah.
But back then, the way society worked was there was a king, generally speaking, right? There's a king who rules over everyone, and there are knights who get knighted by the king, who are his soldiers, basically, his special soldiers, and they have to give honor to the king by way of a code of conduct. So how they act has to always be with the king's honor in mind, for instance. So that's why they're always dressed up in fancy armor, or always supposed to be acting really nicely and doing all the right things, right? Because they need to give honor to their king, who is the ruler over all of them. Okay?
Yeah.
So that's one big difference. But I love the way you use honor in the sentence. What about fate?
Fate?
Just guess. Again, we haven't even
Isn't it-
spoken about any of this yet.
But like, isn't there two kinds of fates? Isn't there one like called fatality or whatever?
Say that again?
Isn't one called a fatality, something like that?
Okay. Oh, okay. So you know fatality from what? From video games?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I know you probably play Call of Duty. Did you? Maybe that was an assumption.
Or Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat. Okay, perfectly. So fatality actually comes from the word fate. Okay. So fatality is when someone dies, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay, cool. What else do you know fate from?
I was gonna say hope, and that's fate.
You were gonna say hope.
I wouldn't.
But the word reminds you of hope, right?
Yeah, because the words I would say like faith, like faith for hope, and fate.
Oh, right. So faith is very different from fate.
Yeah.
But yeah, fate. I like how you gave up fatality. Let's write that word down, fatality, just so we have an idea, something to hold on to. Awesome, cool. So we'll get to that a little bit later. What about ambition? When someone has ambition, they have ambition. Have you ever heard the word before? What about an ambitious person?
Isn't that like another like suspicion?
It's that or has a suspicion. Write that word down. That's a good word to relate to it. Because again, even if we don't know the definition, that's fine. I want us to think about words that we can relate to. And when you think about ambition, you think of suspicion. I like that. I could totally see that. And guilt. What about guilt? It seems like you have a definition there.
Guilt is like when you like, for example, like let's say you do a crime, right? And you're the person who did it, and the other person that did it, you think it's okay, but then soon you get this feeling that like you know what's wrong, and then like you feel like guilt. Kind of.
What? Wait. So guilt is when you feel like you've done something wrong.
Yeah, but you know you did, but like you don't want to I guess confess.
Right. So you haven't confessed yet, so you still
Yeah.
feel guilty. If you confess, would you feel guilty?
No.
Right. That would take away the guilt. Right. Perfect. I love the way you did that. So honor and guilt we've gotten down. Right. We still need to figure out fate and ambition for a little bit. So we have this sheet right here, and that's going to help us out a little bit. And this sheet will help us understand context clues. Have you heard of context clues before?
Isn't it like little things that the author leaves in the book that can lead to a conclusion?
Almost exactly right. So it's actually the words in the sentence, right? So kind of like what you're saying, author leaving text in the book, but words in a sentence that help us understand other words that we may not know in a sentence. So let's say we understand the whole sentence together, but there's that one word we can't just define, you know?
Yeah.
The sentence, we try to read the sentence over again, just to understand to ourselves, oh, what does this word really mean? Or maybe we just guess what it means so we can move on with the book, right? So we don't just get stuck on one sentence. So here we have a sentence, and this sheet actually, I wanted to see which ones, I think there's actually maybe over here. Yeah, okay, on this sheet. So we already understand which ones. Sorry, I just wasted some time. We know honor, right?
Yeah.
We don't need to worry about this one, and we know guilt.
Yeah.
So we don't really need to worry about this one. So let's read the sentence, and let's try to figure out what fate might mean based on the sentence. So we have a sentence that I put down here, and we're going to create another sentence based on what you're interested in. But obviously you'll have to... wait, I want you to read the sentence first, and I think you'll be able to tell us.
It is your fate to become king someday, said King heir to his son.
Okay, so what does fate...
It sounds like destiny. Like
Destiny.
Like
Can we write that down? That's arguably the best synonym we can use for fate. So on this loose leaf, let's write down destiny. Couldn't have come up with a better synonym. So what does destiny mean?
Destiny means is that when somebody believes or thinks you're destined for something. So, like for example, let's say you have a father that works in the military.
Okay.
And he would think that his destiny is destined to be there. That he's like meant to serve the army.
Okay, like his son, you mean?
Yeah.
For sure, 100%. So something that, is destiny something you can control?
Maybe. I mean, it's a choice. So.
Well, take a side. Like, let's say you're destined for greatness.
Yeah.
Can you stop that from happening?
Yeah.
But isn't the idea of destiny something that maybe you can't control?
I think it all really depends.
On what?
On the situation. Like let's say like you're destined for something like a job or something. Obviously, I would choose not do that job. So like I can't.
So you're saying in this day and age that destiny may not be fulfilled, right? Like you may not believe in destiny, right? Because you have choices. You can change what that destiny looks like.
Yeah.
Okay. So in the olden days, actually, the fates were portrayed as these three old Greek witches, kind of sorcerers, goddesses maybe, who controlled everyone's life. And they lived in a different plane. They didn't live on Earth, and they would like cut threads. And once they cut your thread, you would die. So in the end, we didn't really have free will, or people didn't believe we had free will. People always thought everything was determined by fate. You can do whatever you want, but once your fate's your fate, it doesn't matter. Whatever you do to try to get away from it will lead you back to the fate. So fate's like destiny in a sense. Fate is something that might happen in the future that you cannot control. Okay? So let's write that down. Destiny we already have. I think that's the best way to think about it, but as a just textbook definition, let's think about it as something that's going to happen in the future that you cannot control. Okay, now let's think about the other one, right? So we have ambition left. Let's read the sentence.
I have the ambition to become president of the United States someday.
Okay, do you have a better idea you think about what that means, or?
Judging by the sentence, it sounds like it's kind of like destiny, but not really, because it's like that person may think that. Or it can be confidence too, like for example, like ambition. Let's say you change it, it would say I have the confidence to become president of the United States someday.
All right, interesting. So you're substituting word. I like how you're doing that. So confidence can be related to ambition, but it's not a perfect synonym. But I like the way that you're substituting because you understand what the sentence is basically saying right now. Let's think of another example. Let's say we're taking away confidence, and what games do you like to play? Like the most, like you feel like you're the best at.
I like to play Last of Us.
What?
The Last of Us.
The Last of Us?
Yeah.
All right. Does it take a lot of practice to get good at?
Yeah.
Okay. So You have ambition to become a great The Last of Us player, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what does that mean?
Wait, say again.
Jared has the ambition to become a great The Last of Us player. He works really hard at it.
Oh, like
He
you practice. Okay. I can't use term, like you practice with like you know like you think that you're like the best, right?
You think what?
That you'll be the best, right? Like that.
I like that kind of definition, right? You want to be the best, right?
Yeah.
The desire to achieve the best. Is that what you want out of The Last of Us? Yeah, sure. All right, great. Let's write that down. If we need to repeat it again just to get your thoughts in order, feel free.
There was again to desire what?
You tell me. Don't feel like you forgot. You don't need to word it exactly like how we just said it. Think about the sentence. Doesn't need to be perfect. Cool. All right, so this was just a primer to get us going on the main themes that we're going to see in Macbeth, basically. Fate, honor, ambition, and guilt. Simple, right? So, let's move into the ideas of the story. We're going to watch a quick summary of the story because if you had just read this as a play, it would be pretty difficult to understand exactly what's going on. And you know why it's so hard to understand Macbeth of all the plays? Because characters just come in and you're like, where did you come from? Like, they're just going to show up and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm supposed to know who you are? They don't explain. So, we're going to watch a quick video that basically gives us a short rundown of what happens in Macbeth, okay? We're going to watch it twice. The first time we're going to watch it just to get an idea of what's going on. The second time we're going to watch half of it, and you're going to write down as many names that you don't know as you can come up with, that based on what they say, and as many fights between people and killings or whatever. Okay? So let's watch this video quickly.
Funny thing about
Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. So it's a little funny. There's a couple curses in it, so just be prepared. But again, we're writing unknown words, names, and who kills who. Okay? I think we're going to actually start it now. If we need to watch it again to get some more ideas, we can. But again, things we need to worry about. Unknown words, names, and who kills who. Okay? Cool. Let's draw a line down the center. Yeah, no worries. Take your time. Enjoy the choice. Good. And the last thing I'm going to do is just warn you and let you know that this guy does speak pretty quickly. So if you don't feel like you got everything else, don't worry again. We're going to watch it a second time very quickly. So let's watch this.
What's the word, son? This week on 5 Notes, we getting regicidal with Macbeth by William Shakespeare.
Wait. Quick. He just said we're going to get regicidal with some notes. Have you ever heard the word regicidal?
No.
It's a weird word. Have you heard... So it comes from the root regicide. So what does regicide sound like? Just any other words? Regicide. Any other words come to mind? I'll say it again. Let's write it out. If you can give me the pencil. Here we go. Tell me if this looks like any other words or sounds like any other words. Even just sounds like regicide.
So it sounds like register.
Sounds like register, true. Okay. I want to focus more on this last part, side. You know any other words that end with side? What about suicide?
Yeah.
You know suicide?
Yeah.
What's suicide mean?
It's when it's Good.
Good. What about, have you heard of homicide? Homicide is when someone kills someone. Homicide is the crime of murdering someone else. What about pesticide?
Oh, that's like the spray thing, right? To kill the bugs or whatever.
Okay, what do all of these things have in common?
Do I have side in them?
Right? And what do all of they have to do with? Now, let's take away regicide. We're not worrying about that just yet. Suicide, homicide, pesticide. What's going on in all of these?
They all end with the side, and
Think about the
they
main ones.
all involve the word killing.
They all involve killing, right?
Yeah.
Or death, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Side is the Latin word for kill. Okay? Rex. Have you ever heard? So where have you heard the name Rex from?
Rex.
What animal?
Oh, it's T-Rex.
T-Rex, right? T-Rex. Tyrannosaurus means huge. Dinosaur, basically. Rex means king. Okay? So he's the king of the big dinosaurs. Even though he wasn't the biggest, we think of him as the biggest. That's why they call him Tyrannosaurus Rex. So if we put these words together, right? Regicide, which is from Rex, king, and side, kill, what do we think this might mean?
What?
We're putting these two words together, right? We have side, which we know means kill, and Rex, which we know means king. So what do we think regicide might be?
King side.
Right, but what do we know side means?
Oh, king kill.
Meaning what? If someone commits regicide, what do they do?
They kill a king.
Nice, well done. So we know this story has to do with killing a king, okay? He starts it off. He just starts off really fast. I just wanted to catch it.
What's the word, son? This week on Bad Notes, we getting regicidal with Macbeth by William Shakespeare. After making a bitch out of their enemies, the king's fresh generals, Macbeth and Banquo, hit up three.
Do you know who Banquo is?
No.
It's right name down, right?
Where'd you get Banquo?
Banquo, yeah. B-A-N. We have subtitles on the bottom too, just for future reference. Yeah. B-A-N-Q-U-O. Cool.
Witches who start laying down some cold prophecy. Them witches say one day Macbeth gonna rock the crown as king, and Banquo's blood also gonna be rolling on royal doves one day. Macbeth all geeked up about being big baller, but his woman Lady Macbeth be all like, "Why you wasting time, playboy? You best get off your lazy white ass and take that shit." So Lady McBee convinces McBeasy to shank King Duncan while he catches some Z's and lay the blame on his two chamberlains while they passed out from sipping too much drink. Macbeth straight tripping after doing the deed. So his woman steps up and puts the bloody knife on the chamberlains as evidence. When some fool Macduff finds the king's dead body, Macbeth murks them chamberlains so they can't dodge the heat. All paranoid that somebody gonna ice them too, Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donald Bain, roll out of town. With them punks out of the way, Macbeth becomes the king. Since the witches done said Banquo's blood gonna be king's one day, Macbeth starts bugging and sends a couple of hoods to Gat Banquo and his boy Fleance. Banquo gets wrecked, but Fleance ducks these fools. Later, Macbeth hollers at the three witches, who lay down some new prophecy. First, an armored head tells him he best watch his boy Macduff. Then, a bloody child tells him that nobody born of a woman can touch him. Last, a crowned child holding a tree tells him he's solid till great burning trees roll up to the castle. Word comes that Macduff done rolled out to England, so Macbeth gets ice cold and kills his whole family. Damn. Later, Macbeth learns that his woman done iced herself because she couldn't get the blood off her hands. At first, Macbeth ain't sweating the fact that Malcolm's returned and got a swole army creeping up to the castle. But then he realizes the shields the army using are from the same wood the witches warned him about. Oh, Since Macduff heard that his family and castle got smoked, he want to go toe-to-toe with Macbeth. On the battlefield, Macbeth says, "Macduff, get off these nuts. You were born of a woman. Can't touch this." Turns out, Macduff's mama had a C-section when he was born, so Macduff wipes that nasty smile off his mug and beheads this fool. Then Malcolm takes back his throne, and Scotland got one less title. This play right here is a classical tragedy about a once righteous brother who balls till he falls, and it's an unchecked ambition and lust for power that makes him his own antagonist. But is Macbeth really the only one to blame for having such a bootleg fate? Because on the
There's that
real,
word, right?
it was Lady Macbeth who put a fire under his ass to murk the king. And you can even blame them witches for feeding his ambition and giving him a big old head. And Scottish society got to ride the beef too. Back then, the main rap was you ain't got to pay unless you grab all the power you can, no matter who you got to kill for. So if you want to say Macbeth got served because of all the people he shaped, you best recognize he was getting mad props for butchering his enemies at the beginning of the play. In fact, some literary thugs say that Macbeth ain't to blame at all, but that fate slinging him around like a puppet, making him act like a serious fool. Just listen to how he talks about life after his woman dies. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot full of
It's all right,
sound
we're
and
gonna go over
fury,
again.
signifying nothing.
No
Because if
worries.
Macbeth ain't got no choice, then all this is straight meaningless. Since
That just reminded me of something you said. He's basically saying if Macbeth doesn't have a choice, then life is meaningless, right? Kind of what you were saying before, right? Like you can change destiny, is what you were saying. But Macbeth's thinking, if I can't change my own destiny, then what's the whole point in life? I'm basically just a puppet to the fates, to destiny, right? I'm just doing my thing. No matter what happens, I still have my own fate, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of what he was saying right there.
state, society, and Macbeth's big-ass head laying more pressure on him than he can handle, Shakespeare dropping images of clothes that don't fit good to show how this player living way out of his depth. Now he does feel his title hang loose about him, like a giant's robe upon a dwarfish thief. New honors come upon him, like our strange garments cleave not to their mold, but with the aid of use. Hey, y'all know how to make a player feel loved,
Okay,
man.
so we're going to watch this again, starting just here. We're going to stop midway, so we're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch the summary. What can you already notice about what's happening in this book?
Like Duff killed Macbeth. I think it was.
True, that happens at the end. There's a lot of killing here, right? Like a lot. There's a lot.
Does his wife kill herself or he kills her?
I think
I know he killed his whole family. I think he said.
you have a good memory. I like this. You could probably already write a lot of what's going down here, but let's watch it from the beginning and write down as many as you can. So I want unknown words, names, and who kills who. Okay, it goes quick. So let me know if you need me to stop.
What's the word, son? This week on Thug Notes, we getting regicidal with Macbeth by William Shakespeare. After making a bitch out of their enemies, the king's fresh generals, Macbeth and Banquo, hit up 3 witches who start laying down some cold prophecy. Them witches say one day, Macbeth gonna rock the crown as king, and Banquo's blood also gonna be ruling on royal doves one day. Macbeth all geeked up about being big baller, but his woman, Lady Macbeth, be all like, why you wasting time, playboy? You best get off your lazy white ass and take that shit. So Lady McBee convinces McBeezy to shank King Duncan while he catches some Z's and lay the blame on his 2 chamberlains while they passed out from sipping too much drink. Macbeth straight tripping after doing the deed. So his woman steps up and puts the bloody knife on the chamberlains as evidence. When some fool McDuck take that shit. So Lady McBee convinces McBeezy to shank King Duncan while he catches some Z's and lay the blame on his 2 chamberlains while they passed out from sipping.
King Duncan. He kills King Duncan, basically. But he said shank, because that's just slang for kill.
Too much drink. Macbeth straight tripping after doing the deed. So his woman steps up and puts the bloody knife on the chamberlains as evidence. When some fool McDuff finds the king's dead body, Macbeth murks them chamberlains so they can't dodge the heat. All paranoid that somebody gonna ice them too, Duncan's sons, Malcolm and Donald Bing, roll out of town. With them punks out of the way, Macbeth becomes the king. Since the witches done said Banquo's blood gonna be king's one day, Macbeth starts bugging and sends a couple of hoods to Gat Banquo and his boy Fleance. Banquo gets wrecked, but Fleance ducks these fools. Later, Macbeth hollers at the 3 witches, who lay down some new prophecy. First, an armored head tells him he best watch his boy Macduff. Then, a bloody child tells him that nobody born of a woman can touch him. Last, a crowned child holding a tree tells him he's solid till great Burnham trees roll up to the castle. Word comes that Macduff done rolled out to England, so Macbeth gets ice cold and kills his whole family. Damn. Later, Macbeth learns that his woman done iced herself because she couldn't get the blood off her hands.
So that's what you were talking about before. Lady Macbeth, his wife, kills herself, so suicide.
At first, Macbeth ain't sweating the fact that Malcolm's returned and got a swole army creeping up to the castle. But then he realizes the shields the army using are from the same wood the witches warned him about. Since Macduff heard that his family and castle got smoked, he want to go toe-to-toe with Macbeth. On the battlefield, Macbeth says, "Macduff, get off these nuts. You were born of a woman. Can't touch this." Turns out, Macduff's mama had a C-section when he was born, so Macduff wipes that nasty smile off his mug and beheads this fool. Then Malcolm takes back his throne, and Scotland got one less tyrant.
Wait, that was Macbeth, right? That you killed?
Yes. Okay, so I think the nice thing about this video was, number one, it gave us exposure to a lot of the people in this book, right? Obviously. You wrote down, what?
The story, basically.
The story, basically, right? And now you're a lot more aware of, like, different characters, right? You can tell there's a lot of characters in this book, right? And a lot of people die. So I'm glad we have this other idea. Right now, what I'd like to do is basically fill out this sheet, because they also spoke about fate at the end. In the analysis, talking about how Macbeth felt like he didn't have a choice. And with the witches too, because the witches were telling him basically what he was going to do. And he definitely has ambition, right? What does he have ambition for? What does Macbeth want?
Become king.
Yeah, absolutely. And who feels guilty at the end?
Him?
He feels a little guilty at the end, not totally, because right, he's still talking like mad smack to Macduff, but which character kills herself?
Lady.
Why?
Because she couldn't, she killed the king, right?
She convinced him to kill the king.
Oh.
Right? And then Macbeth kept on killing. So we're going to fill out the sheet. It has the definitions for each of them, as best as you can describe them. And I'm going to do quickly words that connect or relate to these ideas. So what words, when you think of fate, when you think of your definition, what words make you think about fate? What situations? And then finally, the last thing you're going to fill out is a real life example. So when in your life have you experienced any ideas of fate, or any ideas of honor, or ambition, or guilt? So we're going to fill out this sheet independently, and yeah. Do you have any questions?
So basically this is just defining the words itself and then connecting.
And then finally connecting to your real life.
So I can connect the video, the story thing to this also, definition or not?
You definitely can. So again, we start with the definitions, or whatever ones you think you can get down now. Take your time.